everyone. My name is Jeanie Zhang, the founder of Springdale Law Group. I would like to be your estate attorney. We help you manage your estate during lifetime and upon your death. I have Katy Thompson here with me today, and she's one of our associates. Hey, Katy, do you like to tell everyone that what is your estate planning experience and what got you into this?
Of course. So when I went to law school, I went to Baylor Law School in Waco, Texas. And one of the required courses for you in law school is Trust and Estates, which you take with Professor Featherston, who is one of the specialists in the United States for community property law. So I actually had not thought that I was going to be particularly interested in estate planning or wealth management. But the class was actually really interesting. And so I actually did really well in the class, and it piqued my interest. And so after I took the class, I volunteered with the Veterans Clinic. And every year during Memorial Day, we do a will clinic for veterans. And I wrote my first will for a veteran couple that needed to be able to work with their assets after their death. Following that, during COVID, I've also done a lot of wills, trusts, and estates planning with clients because of the imminency of COVID.
Right.
So being able to work with people to manage their assets, both during life, giving them the peace of mind that if they were to become incapacitated, that they would be able to be taken care of. And then after death, making sure that their assets go where they would like for them to go, and that their family is not burdened with the heavy process that can happen if somebody dies without a will. In Texas in particular, the process, if you don't have a will, your assets can be frozen. You have to wait for the court to be able to go through a process. So basically you pass, then you have to wait for the death certificate to come out. Once the death certificate has come out, then you have to go to the court. The court will issue what are called letters. Yes, called letters testamentary to certain members of the family. You have to prove up who all the legal heirs are. And then you have to work with the court on the court's time to be able to split those assets evenly among the heirs. So this is a process that can take months, if not years, if you're unable to find some of the heirs. So it can be very tedious and time intensive. If you don't have a will, you also probably don't have powers of attorney for financial or for medical power of attorney. So if you were to become incapacitated, it can be very difficult to figure out who it is in your family or amongst your life that would be there to make those important choices for you, both financially and medically. Other than that, the probate process, like I said, takes a long time. It also takes a significant amount of money in Texas and in other states. So you're looking at about 6% of your assets will be spent in the probate process, going to court, putting up a bond, and having to go through everything for the probate process. So time and money are something that most clients would like to not pass on to their family members and their loved ones, just because they want the process to be quicker, more efficient, and easier for the family members in their time of bereavement. So what we do at Springdale Law is we work together with our clients to create a comprehensive estate package. And when we create these packages, we think about things that are more than a normal attorney firm would think about. It's not as simple as creating and drafting just a will for you. One of the things that we think about, if you have children, we put together a child protection package. Now, what this does is if something were to happen to you as a parent and you were incapacitated, or if you lost your life, it would make sure that in the interim that there was someone that could not only serve as guardian, which you can do through a will, but that there's in the interim people that would be able to help take care of your child, and that your child or children are with people that you approve and would like for them to be with. So just think about the fact, if you are a single parent or if you and your spouse were on a trip and something were to happen to you, one of the things to think about is who can physically pick up your children from school that day. The school will not allow a random person to pick up your children. So you would need to have something in place to be able to take your children if they needed any medical care, to be able to take them for medical care and things like that. We put together this child protection program so that it's there for you in any time that you need it.
They say, oh, my sister can take care of my children. My sister can go there and pick up them. If they don't have the right document in place, they can't take them out.
Correct. They can't take any children from school, and they won't be able to do anything that a guardian would be able to do unless they were named as a guardian by the court, which can take time. and takes a legal process, money, and possibly an attorney. And so by having this childhood protection program that we create, it makes that seamless. So you don't have any time that's wasted where you're worried about who's going to be able to take care of your children. And you don't have to worry about your family member having to go to court and getting an attorney and figuring out how to go through the guardianship process. It's already preset so that if you were to pass or if you were to become incapacitated, it automatically goes into effect and you have all the paperwork ready that you're going to need to be able to take care of everything.
For estate planning, we offer a comprehensive package, right? We're not just do like one simple document. In this entire package, it includes will and the living trust, power of attorney. There will be 2 power of attorney, right? Medical power of attorney.
Yes, medical and financial.
Financial power of attorney, child lifetime protection plan. Those documents work together perfectly. You need all those documents. But if you only have 1 or 2, sometimes one might work, the other one doesn't work under different circumstances.
So like the will is only going to cover like the physical distribution of your stuff. Like it doesn't cover any of the other things that you needed to do. And one of the things that I love about our comprehensive package is that we put together all the different documents that you're going to need. A lot of other attorneys will just do a will. And while a will is a wonderful instrument to help you with your finances, in your estate after death, it doesn't take into account if you were to become incapacitated and needed someone for financial power of attorney or medical power of attorney. It also doesn't take into consideration if you have any minor children or any adult children that are in need of a guardian due to incapacity. It also doesn't take into consideration being able to move the assets through the process of a living will. So when we put together our comprehensive package, we do everything together so that you have the entire package and it takes care of everything that you need as far as working with your assets and your wealth and being able to pass those quickly upon your death or incapacitation to your family members as you wish.
So we make sure that your assets and your loved ones will be protected during your lifetime if you become incapacitated and upon your death.
That's right. And I think that is why I like our protection plan and our comprehensive plan far better than what we do or what would be done at other attorney offices where they would do just a will and maybe they would include the power of attorneys, but they wouldn't include the living will. They wouldn't have that lifetime child protection plan that we also provide. So I think that one of the things that I love the most about our program is that it is comprehensive and it's designed to make sure that everything is taken care of during the time that you're alive, if you are to become capacitated, and at the time of your death. One of the things that I also love about our plan is, as we spoke earlier, if you were to die intestate or without a will in Texas, it would take months and months and it would be a significant amount of money. One of the things that we put together is we put together what's called a living will. So what that does is it puts your assets into a trust. And what that does for you at the time of your death and for your family members at the time of your death is immediately upon your death, those assets transfer and they don't go into an estate. So what that does is it avoids that probate process that we were just talking about that can be very time intensive and money intensive. And instead, it passes those assets directly to the individuals at the time of your death. If you have a house that's worth a significant amount of money and your children don't have the amount of money to pay a mortgage that might exist on that house, if you went through the probate process, it could take several months to be able to get access to your assets to be able to pay the mortgage on the home. So they may be behind on the mortgage or even have a foreclosure on the mortgage if there's a significant amount of time in the probate. Where if you use a living trust, they're able to access those accounts immediately upon your death, and they would be able to make sure that your home and estate is taken care of. So it's issues like that people don't necessarily think about when they're living that make estate planning so important. You don't want to lose any assets. You don't want your spouse or a loved one that's living in a home. Yes, you don't want your assets to be lost. You don't want your assets to be frozen, and you don't want your loved ones to have to wait for up to a year to 2 years on that whole probate process. And so one of the things that our plan does is it helps you be able to make sure that the process is smooth and simple for your loved ones so that you're able to make sure that they're taken care of in the way that you want, as if you were living, but you've passed.
So as part of our program that we help you to do the funding part, that's what Katy was just talking about. You need to make sure that your living trust is fully funded. If you spend like $3,000 on the living trust, but you didn't fund your living trust, you waste $3,000. Your living trust means nothing.
And that is an important point to bring up. A lot of times when people go to other attorneys, if they set up the living trust, they don't walk the client through the process of signing over any deeds and any bank accounts to be able to fund that trust. Mm-hmm. And as Jeanie just said, if you don't go through that full process and if you don't take care of everything, the living trust is meaningless because the trust is not funded. It doesn't have the assets in it. So while the trust has been created, it's not actually going to do what you want it to do at the time of death.
Yep.
And so with our full package, we have different options for you. So we can either completely handle the process, or if you're more comfortable handling it, we give you instructions for you to be able to handle the process on your own.
Yep. We give you unlimited guidance to make sure that your living trust is fully funded.